Welcome to Love My 419 from the Harold Jaffe Jeweler Studio. I'm Bill Delaney, Sandy Eisenberg,
Hello.
Steve Ramey, and we've got a packed show for you today. I'll tell you what. Disaster in Texas hits close to home. Sylvania is issuing refunds, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
Bowser now considering a mascot change.
Mm-hmm.
Cops about to really roll on Lucas County. Well, this is going to be interesting, folks. And a mother is not so subtly hinting discretion. Or discrimination, I'm sorry. It's not discretion,
Well,
discrimination.
they could use some
at Central
discretion.
Catholic High School. So, all of these and a lot more when we come back. Stay tuned.
Everybody talking like I'm really acting funny now. That don't matter. All I hear is since that check came in. I love it when you talk to me. My cash machine. My cash machine.
Love My 419 is brought to you by Harold Jaffe Jewelers. Without them, there is no Love My 419, and without Love My 419, how do you know about all the wonderful people, places, businesses, and things that make up the 419? So stop into Harold Jaffe Jewelers anytime, Monday through Saturday, and let them know how much you appreciate them, bringing you the quality television like Love My 419. They're awesome. You're awesome. Thank you for watching Love My 419.
Shut up.
More of Love My 419 in a moment. If we can keep
Barfness.
Sandy quiet. We have Jeff Jaffe here in the studio.
Good morning.
Good
Good
morning.
Oh, I
morning.
forgot
How's
my
everybody?
glasses. I just
Well,
a minute, I forgot my
They're going
eyes.
off the wall, but outside
Well,
of that. Hey.
Yes, it is election season.
Yes.
And
Yes.
Oh, there you go.
As always, we're campaigning.
The best jeweler.
We need
the
your
best
vote.
jeweler.
We need your
Yes.
The best jeweler.
The
vote.
best.
Thank you. That's very nice of you to say.
The best.
We think so.
Stage is yours.
Thank you.
And happy birthday again.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
It was a big. Actually, I have to. Aside from being a big birthday numerically, it was just probably one of the best birthdays I've ever had. The show was incredible, and I had the most fun. And I think we've got some things planned for the future with these guys. Maybe in the next year or so, we may be doing some other things. So yeah, I'm excited about
good.
all of that. Yeah.
Sounds great.
Does that make you crazy?
It makes me very old.
No kidding.
I want to know where the summer went. You
What
know,
summer?
the older
Yeah,
you
no,
get, the
yeah.
faster it goes.
But we're going to be
can't believe
doing
it.
a number of events during the season, during the fall
great.
at the store, and our first one's coming up. It's actually 2 weekends from now. It's the 15th and 16th. We're doing a collector's vintage watch event. We're actually having
wow.
a large show and sale of watches that you would not normally see in the marketplace.
Ooh, I like that.
And we're inviting
that'll be
everybody
really
to come
wonderful.
out, to see, if nothing else. I mean, obviously, if they want to buy something, that's really cool. But you'll be able to, if you're interested at all in watches and fine watches, we're going to probably have a collection like you've not seen before.
He's giddy right now. I can see it.
I am getting giddy, and I'll be giddier in a couple of weekends. But
That
yeah,
sounds
I'm
very strange,
excited about it.
giddiness.
So hopefully you can come, and I'll mention it again next week too.
Good.
Super, super.
Absolutely.
More of Love My 419 when we come back. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Love My 419. We have a guest we'll introduce here in a second. I'm Bill, Sandy, and Steve. And Steve, what's on the agenda here?
Well, interesting. I had a message on my Facebook. Joyce from Swanton loves the show. She said it was
thanks,
her
Joyce.
kindergartner's first day of school. Had a tough time trying to get to school. She bribed him with Rachel Michaels popcorn, and he walked right through the door. There you go.
All right, Rachel.
There you go, Rachel Michaels popcorn.
And what do we say?
The power of persuasion. And you can get it free if you mention
Love My 419.
There you go.
There
Stop
you go.
in and tell her you love us.
Okay, getting right to this. We have the mother that wants some clarity on the rules. Malachi, a freshman at the Central High School, is being encouraged to cut his dreadlocks. His mother, Maylin Whattley, is here to discuss it. Maylin, what is going on?
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
It's been a week.
My son came home from school last week quite upset. He told me that the dean approached him and told him he have to do something with his hair. He asked her what. She said, I don't know, but something. Tuesday, they announced over the intercom that, during an assembly, that dreadlocks is not allowed because it's a fad hairstyle. To me, dreadlock is not a fad hairstyle.
Right.
It's who he is part of his religion. A fad hairstyle is like my hairstyle, you know?
Yes.
Which is working for you, my
Yes,
add.
thank you. You know, dreadlocks has been around for years. It's you know, it's part of my culture. I want him to be proud of who he is. I'm not asking for anything special. I just want them to meet me halfway. I want them to allow him to wear his hair up in a bun, in a scrunchie, up off his
There
shoulder.
you go.
That is fine. That is meeting me halfway.
Right.
But cut it, that's
not an option.
It's not an option.
Right.
Hasn't he had that ever since he's never cut his hair ever since he was born?
1 year old.
1 year
maybe
old,
two,
right.
yes. So some of the questions that I want to ask Central Catholic is, you know, what's the reason for these policy?
Right.
Yes.
What's
we
the
talked about
motivation behind it? I mean,
Who came
why?
up with this to start
Why?
with, I guess.
Yeah.
Who benefits from this policy?
Exactly. Right.
Who is it for?
Right. Well, and you
Your
could almost say for the fact that, you know, some kids, you know, I'm sure that are to put it mildly, you know, Caucasian. If they have their hair long, shoulder length, what's the difference? It's long.
And hairstyles are hairstyles.
Right.
They've always been. You know,
What would be
everybody
the
has-
difference?
Yeah, everybody's got their own style, and this
Right.
is a cultural thing, though.
Right.
And,
And
that's,
a reli-
that's
and a
different.
religious-
Yeah,
It's
and a religious
religious.
thing. That's a whole different ballgame there.
Yeah.
I don't think that this should be done. And what is your background, though? What is your? You wanted to get into that, and
I was born in St. Kitts, which is in the British West Indies. I grew up in St. Thomas, U.S. Virgin Islands.
but your
And your
educational
education.
background.
What's your
I
education?
have a bachelor degree in political science and a master's degree in education.
Right.
And I speak 5 different languages.
You go, girl.
yeah, really.
Yeah.
All right, girl.
What
You're
I want to
right.
get to, though, is what you mentioned a while ago, is what your son said to you coming home from school.
He came home from football practice and he told me, everyone told me that they saw you on TV. And he basically was like, thank you for fighting for me. And that he was proud of me, and he gave me a big old kiss, and I started crying because he gets it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
That
is
is
bigger
cool.
than him.
And
Yeah.
not only that, he's a good athlete. He's an
Athlete.
excellent athlete and an excellent student.
Excellent student.
Those are the kind of kids you want in your school because it adds to the respectability of the school.
Yes, ma'am.
Right.
They've got to look at this at a little different angle,
Yeah,
I
well,
think. And this has got to be a different case.
Yeah.
There's
It's like, you know-
underlying issues here. I mean, the main thing is by enforcing this rule, and yes, they say it's in their policy, but what's the origin for having it in there? Why is that instituted to
Oh,
have?
what's
When
the
was
big
it
deal with
instituted?
hair?
Well,
How
like,
long has it been there?
Crystal Bauer Socks is from Toledo, highly
Good point.
known figure. She wore dreads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
know.
long dreads.
Right.
Did she go there? Or, I
She
mean,
didn't.
No.
I don't think. I think she came from the School of the Arts here.
Oh,
in
yeah,
Toledo.
that's true.
But at
Okay.
the same time,
Right.
you know,
Dreadlocks.
the policy wasn't enforced in that school, and you know, we
Mm-hmm.
try to encourage kids to be creative
And to be
who they-
themselves.
Be themselves.
Right.
There you go.
right.
So this
yeah.
has
And
those
it's-
ramifications of it being cultural and religious.
And it's also part of his identity.
Exactly.
It is, yeah.
Exactly. It's very interesting. So I've got to ask the question. So have you sought legal help with this?
No, I don't know how to go about that.
Oh, girl, I can.
Oh,
hook
well,
you
we'll
up.
talk to you after
Yes,
the show.
I can hook
Oh,
a
she's
sister
got
Oh, yeah.
up, girl.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
A
Yeah.
lot
You
of
might
attorneys.
yeah. I mean, I think, and I'm not a lawyer, but I'm thinking it's probably something smart to do because I think I would be safe to say amongst the three of us, you have a case here.
Yeah. And you have a civil rights case.
You really do.
Yeah. And in this day and age, that policy should be gone. I mean, what we have seen in the past couple of years, I mean, we don't need those kind of policies because they're directed at either religious or cultural or skin color or some other thing that some idiot thought up 20, 30, 40 years
What
ago.
are other moms from the school? Have you had a chance to talk to them? What are their feelings?
A couple
about
of
this?
them, you know, have approached me and basically, you know, want to meet and plan B. But I'm not trying to do this for fame.
Right.
I'm doing this for the next kid that comes after my child.
Right.
I'm doing for the neighbor, the aunt, the nephew, the cousin, the sister, the brother. Someone knows somebody with dreadlocks.
Right. Well, and I think that Central Catholic is a Catholic school. I don't think
Welcoming.
that law is enforced at St. John's or St. Francis or St. Ursula or some
Or
of the other
Notre
Catholics
Dame.
or
Know what
Notre
their
Dame.
policy is.
I don't.
Yeah.
I would wonder what their policies are.
You know,
Right.
when you're talking dreadlocks, but what about these young girls that wear their hair down to their waist? What's the difference?
Not only that, what about you attending a Catholic school where they encourage premarital sex?
Yeah.
You know, my daughter is sitting in a class with someone who is pregnant. What about the kids who come into school looking like clowns with all that makeup?
I was thinking the same thing.
What about the girls who wearing skirts so short you can see their butt cheeks?
Or,
Yeah,
or,
really.
or let's push the envelope further. Are you transgender? Are you openly gay?
I mean,
There's a lot
I
of
think
things.
I think
You know?
that in this day and age that the folks at all the schools need to really just sit down and say we're going to make some significant changes for our children.
Well, I'll tell you what, we want to wish you all the best of luck
Yes,
with this thing.
really.
And if you need an attorney, we'll talk after the
Absolutely.
show.
Girl, I'm
We've
getting my
got
pen
tons
out
of them.
now. I'm about to write you
We
some
got
names.
tons of attorneys
For
for you,
real.
darling.
Thank you,
Absolutely.
Maylin.
Thank you so
So
much.
we'll be back right after this message. Stay with us. Welcome back to Love My 419. I'm Bill, Sandy, Steve. Steve, what do we got, bud?
Well, we love our Men in Blue and we love 360 Painting.
Yes, we
They have
do.
a huge promotion going on for the month of September. If you mention how much you love My 419, you get 15% off your work for the
Wow.
month of September by mentioning you love
My 419.
There you
All righty. All right, this is hot stuff in the 419. Ta-da!
I love it.
Okay, highest robot concentration.
This is crazy.
This is city. This city
Yes, it
has
was
the highest robot
concentration of any workforce of any place in the country.
Right. Thanks
That's
for straightening
kind
my
of
teeth out.
scary. Yeah, the
Yeah, it is.
percentages are through the roof that, in our workforce, and we are, like Jeep, and our workforce is very strong, but it's being infiltrated by robots. That's
Oh.
kind of scary.
That's
Well,
been coming for a while.
I know,
That
but
really
it
has
takes
been
away
coming.
jobs. I work with 2 robots, and I know what I mean.
You know what I said to you a while ago, Sandy? It goes double.
Pay no attention to them. They only let them out
Or-
for this
yeah,
Sunday.
Okay, she's done. Anyway.
but it's
Oh,
scary,
man.
though.
It is. It puts people out of work.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, again, it's how I realize companies, with the cost of healthcare being as high as it is, they're looking for several ways to cut costs. And I
Right.
don't know if actually, substituting human people with robots is the way to do so.
Well, you don't have to deal with them on a contract.
Right.
They don't say anything.
Well, this
Right.
is true, too.
And they don't ask for any more money.
Right.
They just operate.
They don't go on coffee breaks.
No.
No.
No, that's
Bathroom
that.
breaks, none
That's
of that
true.
stuff.
Yeah.
And they don't bug you about clothes and what I should wear.
Okay,
Right,
we should
yeah.
jump off of this one before we get
Quickly.
too deep. Okay, Mommy Anderson's is building,
Mommy Anderson's got
Anderson's
sold.
building is to reopen. Okay,
Right.
And I
And
read this
Mommy.
thing, but and Mommy, yes,
Right.
thank you.
Well, I love this because there's a private investor here in Toledo that has looked into putting several other smaller hardware companies inside the
Yeah.
stores. I think that's kind of a good idea.
It's almost
Well,
like
I don't
kiosk in a
Yeah,
way,
well,
but
I don't know if that's such a good idea, just having hardware stores. I mean, you have to have
I mean,
other...
to start,
well,
yeah.
I
I
know.
mean, just to
but
start.
they want to do different shops also. in
Right,
there.
right.
Yeah.
I think it's a start because it's giving hope to the people, especially there in Maumee. Because how many times when they were closing did we see people that lived in the area come back and say, "Where am I going to go now
Right.
to
Right.
buy the things that
That
they
I
need?"
Sandy,
like.
you mentioned
So-
something about more property down there.
Yeah, they bought an extra 4.5 acres, I guess, somewhere adjacent to the Mommy store,
Oh,
which
really?
I think is wonderful.
I think
God
it is,
bless
too.
them.
Yeah, they can
Really?
do anything to build anything.
Right,
I'm in favor of
absolutely.
business.
Well, it's
Absolutely.
one building that won't be standing empty in Maumee.
Right,
So hopefully
and
that
that's-
will trickle down into
And I
the
sure
If
hope
we
they
can
sell-
only do it here.
I know,
Well, I'd
exactly.
like to see him sell the store on Talmadge.
Right.
You know, that
Yeah,
was
well-
always a great store. I love that store.
Oh my gosh, I know.
Everybody did, but they run into trouble. That's exactly what happened.
Well,
it's
that's
called
what happens.
business.
You're right.
Right.
Unfortunately.
I hate to, got to jump forward a little bit, but Sylvania Schools is issuing refunds on that property tax issue that they had out there. And Sandy, I know you want to go into this.
Well, the thing is, they have no rule. They have no right in the court of law to raise property taxes. That happens to be at the domain of the county auditor. And so I don't understand why they did it in the first place instead of absolutely sitting down and talking to the county auditor and saying, well, we need some more money. Can we do this, this, and this?
Well, I'm glad that they came up with the answers and they're going to give the
they
money
admitted
back.
that they made a mistake.
Well, and they were showing, I was watching some of the, other publications. There was a mom that was talking about her house had got assessed. It was basically going to stick her with an extra $15,000 a year in taxes when basically 2 houses up the street were going to be half of that based upon the assessment. So that's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy. But like you said, they are issuing refunds.
Right.
So they did realize the mistake.
Yes. So that's always good when a political entity realizes that they made a mistake.
Anyway, we'll be right back after this
Seriously,
message.
think about it.
Even
I mean,
she'll
you
be
can
back.
only go
Okay,
so-
stay tuned.
you go so-
Sunday morning rain is falling.
Welcome back to Love My 419. I'm Bill, Sandy, Steve. What a day this is.
Boy, we have a lot of fun here.
I'll tell you what, yes.
And I want
Yes,
to
we
take
do.
this
Listen,
moment in time to apologize to our 12 viewers. Eat your breakfast and go back to bed because we
Don't
are
choke on the oatmeal.
off the ranch. Oh, my heavens.
Oh, man,
it's
this
been a
group is
very
something else.
significant morning
Listen,
here, folks.
if we can get really serious for 1 second,
really.
Yeah.
let's talk about the disaster in Houston. And what is going on there is just unbelievable.
Oh, my heavens.
Unbelievable.
Oh, my heavens.
Right.
It's
And
just-
some of it's close to home, right?
It's
Steve?
very well. I mean,
Yeah.
our producer actually has family down there, which
Right.
he was able. Thank God, he was able to get a hold of.
Oh,
and he
super.
said that they were okay.
And
Did
I
you
called one of my friends down there, and I called her twice now, and I have not heard back
Oh,
from
that's
her.
scary.
Did you see
Yeah.
the one guy that got a hold of his father and was just sobbing?
Yeah.
That was
Right,
just
right.
Wrenches your
That
heart.
that tells you what everybody's doing down there.
Well,
Well,
yeah,
so-
and our own from Channel 13,
Jeff
our
Smith.
other station, Jeff Smith's, his parents actually live down there,
Right.
And they live in Missouri City, Texas, and luckily when he actually apologized because he was distracted while he was doing the cast at the time,
Yeah.
talking about the flood, he had not heard from his parents.
Yeah.
So imagine
Scary.
being on television talking about the flood,
Right.
and you've not heard from your parents. But luckily, he did get a hold of them, and they were able to evacuate before it really got bad.
The
So they
stories
are
on
fine.
this will be never ending.
Oh,
once
and this,
thing
this,
subsides,
yeah,
but-
and this cleanup will be forever and a day,
Oh.
and it's a very historic moment.
It's going to have an effect on everybody throughout the country, but what they're going through personally is just
Right.
Yeah, there was a
Amazing.
part of me that was really weird as I was sitting watching it. I thought to myself, you know what? I would not mind if my place of employment would allow me to actually go down there and help. I think in light of what's been going on in the country and all this negativism and this, distension, the one thing that they were saying, this is an opportunity where you see people at their finest helping
Right.
each other out. And I'm
my
thinking,
brother-in-law always goes to these things. He went to 9/11. He worked on that. He's been in West Virginia working on the flood down there. And my grandson and my son-in-law both went down there also to West Virginia to help him out
Right.
with that flooding.
yeah. I mean,
And-
you definitely have a deep appreciation for
Yeah.
what you have.
They did, and it's a spiritual thing at the same time.
Oh, exactly.
So scary though, because you can't really harness Mother Nature.
I had
mean,
my
it is-
basement flood once, and it was
Oh, I know.
come on.
Yeah,
Right.
You know,
I
I had to
agree,
throw everything
100%.
out,
I've had it too,
Yeah,
and
well,
it was minuscule.
Yeah.
I mean, like not even a blip.
Yeah,
Well,
right
this-
now they're at 50 plus inches of rain, and it's not stopped yet.
Right.
No.
And look at the thing with New Orleans is that whole 9 District
Ward
9 or
9,
whatever it
Ward
was,
9.
Ward 9. There's nobody living there anymore. I mean,
Right.
they've not rebuilt. There's It's a desolate area.
Well, and the people that left Hurricane Katrina that went to Houston
and got flooded again.
and now they're flooded again.
Yeah.
So they're displaced again. So
Yeah,
amazing.
it's terrible.
It's amazing.
It's very sad.
our prayers are with them, that's for sure.
Okay, I'll tell you what. We have got to go to our close and final thoughts, and we'll get to that in 1 minute right after this message. Stay tuned.
We're not making fun of this situation in Korea.
It's just we just pantomime music. That's
well,
all.
that'll be good.
And then we make fun of a lot of things.
Okay, everybody. See you
That
next
it?
week.
Okay, that's good enough. I don't know where the hell we are right now.
If you're impressed with this,
I want this.
call me.
I want to put this down so I can read that and I can look. What?
And then Sandy's over.
I missed that.
That's the thing. Sandy's the encourager. Like, it's just,
What did you say, Steve?
I said, if you're impressed with this,
Jesus! Holy God Almighty! Hey, Steve, could you do this?
oh, trust me.
Yeah.
These are summa cum laude lips.
Love My 419, brought to you in part by the Joe Hamill team of Key Realty. Voted by you, the 419, Toledo City Paper's Best Realtor 2016.
Happy Labor Day. Joe Hamill with Key Realty here, your Northwest Ohio agent. Just stopping in real quick. I know everybody's running around this weekend enjoying their Labor Day, but I wanted to share an article that was in a local paper that a viewer brought to my attention, actually. It's basically, the article said that Toledo's housing market is the best and the worst in the nation. How can that be? Find me inside the app under Overtime. Follow me on Facebook, and I'll explain it in depth. But right now, back to the guys. Have a great week, guys.
Part by the Joe Hamill team of Key Realty. Voted by you, the 419, Toledo City Paper's Best Realtor 2016.
Welcome back to Love by 419. I'm Bill, Sandy, Steve. And listen, there's something that we neglected to talk about in this, and I want to get to it. Mm-hmm. This is going to be our final thoughts, but we'll get to that in a minute. The cops about to really roll on Lucas County. Now,
Yes.
Cop show.
yes, absolutely. You got something on this, Steve?
Yeah, bad boys, what you
Gonna do when they
what
come
you gonna do when they come for you?
I love that show.
Okay,
I love the song.
okay, we
Yes.
gotta roll this.
Well, they're currently in Toledo right now, so
Yep.
we're talking about the reality show Cops. They are actually filming as we
Our
speak,
Cops.
and they're going to be here for the next couple weeks.
Oh, they're gonna have
the
fun.
show is going to air in the spring, but they're out on, patrolling with some of the cops. They're out looking at some of the felony calls. They're on pursuits with some of the local police, and they're on traffic OVIs. So that's kind of cool, man.
That's
Yeah,
going to be
very
neat.
cool.
Yeah, we got to keep
Very
in
cool.
track of that and see
We
what's
have
coming
wonderful
on.
police officers in
I
this
know.
county.
I wonder, will they be at Dunkin' Donuts?
I'm sure.
'Cause
Or somebody's donut.
don't know.
Anyway, let's go with the final thoughts so we can get out of here. Steve, what have you got?
Well, I think it goes back to, what's going on in Texas. And, a lot of people at that time, they're tugging at our heartstrings, and we're hearing all over, while we want to be able to help and we want to be able to financially help, be careful. They're telling you, because this, unfortunately, you have scrupulous people out there trying to take advantage of a giving heart. So really be careful with the agencies that you're giving to.
Just give your money to the American Red Cross or that group out there in Waterville.
Yes.
The money and the items that you contribute will go to Texas.
Exactly.
And that you don't have to worry about.
And that's your final thought?
No, my final thought is the city of Toledo should have hired a bunch of kids like Mayor Ford did when he was mayor to cut the grass, pay these kids minimum wage, give them a lawnmower, get them out. They're working, they're being productive, and they're being responsible.
Yeah.
Instead of complaining about that people owe them millions and millions of dollars. And the other thing is they ought to go in and just take the property by eminent domain and turn it over to the land bank and auction off the parcels for $1 a piece like the county did years ago.
Okay, you done? Okay,
So
I got
there.
my final thought,
She
and we
had a
don't have a
final
lot of
thought.
time. Okay.
I had several, but
I am,
that's as much as
I
I
know
could
you do,
do.
Sandy.
Some we
final
can't
thought
talk
is-
about here.
Oh, man. Anyway, I am a yes vote on this issue 2.
Me too.
Thank you. Well, we agree on something. It's
Yes,
great.
we do.
But
Sometimes.
an article come out in the local paper that 536 million, you get that? Almost $500 million with drug pricing vote will save that kind of money. So please vote yes on this issue.
Yeah.
I'm going to pump this until November. So
I'd suggest to pump it till September 12th.
no,
It's
no.
not on the primary?
No. Well, yeah, it would be.
Well, there you
well,
go.
okay for that, but I'm going all the way to November because
well,
it's
good.
got to happen. Anyway, I think that's it, right? We got to take off. Of course,
Oh, but we
me,
have a surprise
Sandy,
for you,
and-
maybe.
Maybe. What?
Surprise. We can't tell you. It's a surprise. If we tell you, we'll have to get rid of you.
Okay. Bye. Wave, Sandy. Just wave bye.
Bye.
Okay, way to go, dear.
Woo!